There exists a darkness in human nature that goes beyond simple dislike or disagreement. While hatred burns bright and reveals itself openly, destruction moves in shadows, calculated and patient. Marcus Aurelius warned us that not all enemies come with swords drawn. Some arrive with smiles, bearing gifts of false friendship, while plotting the erosion of everything you've built. The Stoic masters understood this fundamental truth. There are those who will not merely oppose you, but who will dedicate themselves to unraveling your peace, your reputation, and your very sense of self. They do not simply hate you, they want to destroy you. And the most dangerous part? They often disguise their malice as concern, their sabotage as support, their poison as medicine. Today we explore the 8 unmistakable signs that someone has moved beyond hatred into the realm of strategic destruction, and how Stoic wisdom can armor your soul against such calculated cruelty. Watch carefully for those who wear the mask of concern while their actions speak a different language. They ask about your struggles not to offer genuine help, but to gather intelligence. They inquire about your relationships, your finances, your dreams and your fears with the precision of a spy mapping enemy territory. Seneca observed that false friends are more dangerous than open enemies, for they know your vulnerabilities intimately. These individuals will remember every weakness you've shared, every moment of doubt you've expressed, and they will weaponize this knowledge when the moment serves their purpose. They position themselves as confidants while systematically cataloging your every flaw and insecurity. The Stoic recognizes such behavior for what it truly is: reconnaissance disguised as friendship. When you encounter such people, remember Epictetus' teaching that we cannot control others' intentions, only our own responses. Guard your vulnerabilities like a fortress guards its gates. Share your struggles only with those who have proven their loyalty through consistent action, not clever words. The destroyer operates through whispers in corridors, through carefully planted seeds of doubt about your character and competence. They never attack you directly, for that would reveal their true nature. Instead, they speak in hushed tones to mutual acquaintances, always prefacing their poison with phrases like, "I'm worried about them," or "I hope they're okay," but they craft narratives that paint you as unstable, unreliable, or untrustworthy, weaving just enough truth into their lies to make them believable. Marcus Aurelius understood that reputation is built slowly, but can be destroyed quickly by those who spread malicious gossip with surgical precision. These individuals know exactly who to approach, what to say, and when to say it for maximum damage. They turn your own social circle into unwitting accomplices in their campaign of character assassination. The wise Stoic does not dignify such whispers with emotional reactions or defensive explanations. Instead, they let their consistent actions speak louder than any rumors. As Seneca taught, a life lived with integrity creates its own defense against slander. Focus on being beyond reproach in your conduct, and time will reveal the truth to those who matter. Beware of those who manipulate your emotions with the skill of a master puppeteer. They know exactly which strings to pull to make you dance to their tune. They study your reactions, your triggers, your deepest fears and highest hopes, then use this knowledge to control your behavior. When they need you compliant, they offer praise and validation. When they want you destabilized, they withdraw their approval or make subtle threats. They create artificial crises that force you to depend on them, then position themselves as your savior. Epictetus warned that our emotions can become chains if we do not master them. The destroyer understands this weakness and exploits it ruthlessly. They manufacture drama, create false urgencies, and orchestrate situations where you feel you must choose between your principles and their approval. The Stoic recognizes emotional manipulation for what it is, an attempt to make you abandon your inner citadel of peace. When faced with such tactics, return to the fundamental Stoic principle that your emotional state belongs to you alone. No one can make you feel anything without your consent. Observe their manipulation attempts with the detachment of a scientist studying a specimen, and refuse to dance to their orchestrated chaos. The subtle saboteur works behind the scenes to undermine your efforts while maintaining plausible deniability. They volunteer to help with your projects, then introduce small errors or delays that seem accidental but are actually calculated. They offer to handle important tasks, then execute them poorly or not at all, creating problems that reflect badly on you. They withhold crucial information until it's too late for you to act effectively. They create obstacles disguised as assistance, roadblocks masked as support. Seneca observed that the most effective destruction often comes not from direct assault, but from the gradual erosion of one's foundation. These individuals understand that they can cause more damage by appearing helpful while actually hindering your progress. They position themselves as indispensable allies while systematically sabotaging your success. The wise Stoic maintains vigilant awareness of such patterns without becoming paranoid. They verify important information, double-check critical tasks, and maintain backup plans for essential projects. Most importantly, they remember that their success depends not on others' support, but on their own disciplined effort and careful preparation. Hidden beneath their friendly exterior lies a competitor who views your success as their personal failure. They cannot bear to see you advance, achieve, or receive recognition because they measure their worth entirely in comparison to others. Every compliment you receive feels like a criticism of them. Every opportunity you gain represents a loss in their zero-sum worldview. They disguise their competitive jealousy as concern for fairness or worry about your well-being, but their true motivation is the belief that there isn't enough success, happiness, or recognition for everyone. Marcus Aurelius understood that comparison is the thief of inner peace, and these individuals have allowed comparison to consume their souls entirely. They cannot celebrate your victories because they interpret them as evidence of their own inadequacy. They undermine your achievements by minimizing them, attributing them to luck or external factors, or suggesting that success has somehow changed you for the worse. The Stoic philosopher recognizes that another person's success or failure has no bearing on their own worth or potential. When encountering such hidden competitors, remember that their jealousy reveals their own inner poverty, not any flaw in your character. Focus on your own path and progress, measuring yourself only against who you were yesterday. Perhaps most insidiously, they study your personality, your speech patterns, your mannerisms, and your values, then mirror them back to you in a grotesque pantomime of friendship. They adopt your interests, echo your opinions, and imitate your style, but not out of genuine admiration or shared affinity. Instead, they use this mimicry to get close to you, to understand your psychology, and to position themselves as your twin or equal. Then, having gained your trust through false similarity, they begin to distort your own behaviors and beliefs back to you, making you question your own judgment and perception. Epictetus taught that we must know ourselves deeply to avoid being swayed by external influences. The destroyer who mirrors you seeks to create confusion about your own identity and values. They want you to become dependent on their reflection to understand yourself, giving them power over your self-perception. The wise Stoic maintains clear awareness of their own authentic nature, independent of how others reflect it back to them. They do not seek validation through recognition from others, but find their center through inner contemplation and adherence to their principles. When someone mirrors you too perfectly, step back and examine whether their reflection serves your growth or their control. Watch for those who seem to find genuine pleasure in your pain, disappointment, or failure. While they may offer superficial sympathy, there is an unmistakable gleam in their eyes when you suffer. They ask about your problems with the eagerness of someone hoping for bad news. They offer comfort that feels hollow, advice that seems designed to keep you trapped in your difficulties rather than help you escape them. When you share your struggles, they respond with barely concealed satisfaction, perhaps even suggesting that your misfortune was inevitable or deserved. Seneca warned that some people feed on others' misery like vultures feed on carrion. These individuals have become so consumed by their own inner darkness that they can only feel elevated by seeing others brought low. They celebrate your pain because it confirms their cynical worldview and makes them feel superior by comparison. The Stoic understand that such people reveal more about their own character than about your situation. When you encounter someone who seems to delight in your difficulties, remember Marcus Aurelius' teaching that we cannot control others' reactions, only our own responses. Do not feed their darkness with emotional displays or detailed accounts of your suffering. Instead, maintain your dignity and seek support from those who genuinely wish you well. Finally, observe those who consistently position themselves as your superior in every interaction, regardless of the context or their actual expertise. They correct you publicly, interrupt you regularly, and dismiss your ideas before you've finished expressing them. They reframe every conversation to highlight their knowledge, experience, or achievements while diminishing yours. Even when you succeed, they find ways to position themselves as the true architect of your success or suggest that they could have done better. This behavior goes beyond mere arrogance or insecurity. It represents a systematic campaign to establish dominance and undermine your confidence. Marcus Aurelius understood that true strength requires no advertisement, and those who constantly assert their superiority often mask deep insecurity with aggressive posturing. These individuals cannot tolerate equality in any relationship because they interpret mutual respect as a threat to their self-image. They need to feel superior to you to maintain their fragile sense of self-worth. The wise Stoic does not engage in dominance contests or waste energy defending their competence against such attacks. They know their own worth independent of others' recognition and do not require external validation to maintain their confidence. When faced with someone who must always be above you, simply step aside and let them climb their imaginary mountain alone. The ancient Stoics understood a profound truth that echoes through the centuries. Recognizing evil does not require becoming it. When you encounter those who seek your destruction, you face a choice that will define your character. You can descend to their level, matching manipulation with manipulation, deception with deception, cruelty with cruelty. Or you can rise above their machinations through the power of Stoic wisdom. Marcus Aurelius taught that the best revenge against those who wrong you is not to become like them. Seneca reminded us that our inner peace is the ultimate victory, for it cannot be taken by any external force. Epictetus showed us that our responses to others' actions determine our fate far more than the actions themselves. When you recognize these 8 signs in another person, you gain the power to protect yourself without losing your soul. Maintain your integrity while guarding your vulnerabilities. Speak truth while avoiding their traps. Pursue your path while remaining alert to their obstacles. The destroyer seeks to drag you into their darkness, but you possess something they can never touch, the unassailable fortress of your own character. In the end, their hatred will consume them, while your wisdom lifts you beyond their reach. This is the ultimate Stoic victory, not the defeat of your enemies, but the preservation of your own peace in the face of their storms.